The last time I took a look at the Samsung Galaxy S, the phone really impressed me, especially the hardware on this thing. The screen is just amazing. But unfortunately, this phone never got updated past Android 2.3.5, so let's change that. Oh, by the way, a command stripped another screen to my laptop. Genius, right? When it comes to custom ROMs, usually this developer forum called XDA is the best resource, so let's see if Google has anything. Galaxy Fascinate. Oh, by the way, despite being called the Galaxy S, apparently this thing's actual model name is the Samsung Galaxy Fascinate, so we'll just use that for XDA. Is there any ROMs that have like a bit of a higher Android version? Like, oh, okay, 6.0.1, this seems fun. But before we do that, we have to flash this file from Odin. Oh, you know what, Odin, do I have to grab a Windows laptop? And of course the file's down. What was I expecting? This is from like 2012, right? Alright, you know what, screw it, let's just install CyanogenMod on this thing. I just want a smooth experience for once. Alright, latest build. Please don't be down. Please, oh, thank God it's still up. There is a GApps package for this as well, but all the apps don't have support anymore, and oh, okay, the file doesn't even exist anymore. You know, that's the one problem you have when you try to do custom ROMs on old things like these. None of the links work anymore. Alright, so to install this, we gotta download the ROM, GApps, and zip. Yeah, we can't get the GApps, so next step, reboot into recovery using 3-button combo. Volume down, volume up, and lock. And then we flash the 4.4 kernel zip to gain TWRP. Through the standard Android recovery? I've never done that before, but okay. Let me guess, the file's down, right? Oh, okay, that's a nice surprise. Can we find a mirror? Alright, it's been like 2 minutes, it's still loading. I guess I'll just sit here and wait. It's been 3 more minutes. Yeah, it's not gonna load, is it? Alright, I found this file where instead of Fasci, it just says Fascinate MTD, but it seems legit, so I'll just download that. Is this one gonna do the same thing? Oh man. None of those are gonna download, so I went to the developer's page on Android File Host and I found this other one, CWM, which I think is Clockwork Mod? I'm not exactly sure, but let's see if this one will download. It's not gonna work. And as expected, Android File Host was just absolutely no help whatsoever, so I got a newer version here, 4.4.2, and instead of relying on Android File Host, we got the CyanogenMod.org website, which is also down, but there's a backup on the Internet Archive, so if we can find it here, we might be set. And the file we're looking for is the latest CyanogenMod 10.1 nightly for the Samsung Fascinate. Let's see, Fascinate MTD, here we go. Hopefully we're actually getting somewhere here and it's not just going to end in complete disaster. Now that we have all the files we need to flash the zip. Alright, let me go grab my micro USB. To flash it, the first thing we're going to hit here is apply update from SD card. Oh, we can't flash it over USB. I actually have to load it on the SD card inside this thing. Samsung, for the S27 Ultra, can you just bring this back, alright? The privacy screen kind of sucks. According to the instructions, first we have to flash the CyanogenMod 10.1. Signature verification failed. Alright, I'm starting to think we can't use Android system recovery for this. Let's find TWRP Samsung Galaxy Fascinate. And we got one from 2015. Okay, pretty modern for this phone. But because we can't use Android recovery mode, we're gonna have to boot this thing into download mode and use Odin, which I'm not using a Windows laptop, okay? I'll figure it out on Linux. Sudo apt install Heimdall flash front end. And when I run the command in the terminal, it actually gives me a nice GUI tool that I can use. Apparently to put this thing into download mode, we gotta take the battery out, plug it in, hold volume down until download mode shows up. What kind of cheat code bullshit is this? I didn't even think these older phones would work without a battery. Oh damn, okay, here we go. Alright, so we got a bit of a problem here. When I try to flash the TWRP version, it just says recovery expects files with file extension .bin, and when you go to the download, it's all .zip, so I don't know what to do from here. Alright, you know what, screw it. Let's just rename the .zip to .bin and see what happens. And Heimdall crashed, because of course it did. I need a .bin file for this to work, and that .zip, it's nowhere near that, so I found this file right here, Clockwork Mod 4 fixed for CyanogenMod 7. That does have a .bin file inside of it, so let's flash that, see where we can get from there. I swear, man, every time I do a Samsung, I'm just pulling my hair out. Alright, recovery.bin, start. And nothing. Alright, you know, as much as I hate to say it, let's switch to Windows. I think it'll be easier that way. And it's actually flashing. Okay, yeah, it's the first time I've had Windows fix an issue and not Linux. Inside of our newly flashed recovery, we flash CyanogenMod 10. And after doing that, it seems like the recovery updated, so now we do CyanogenMod 11. I am so lucky there's an install zip from sideload option in here. Punch in ADB sideload, drag the file in. Alright, looking good. Zip install will fail with set metadata recursive. That's not really the error we're getting here, but I guess we'll just reboot to recovery and try it again. That's weird. Alright, so now we just wipe the data and flash the zip one more time and hopefully it'll work. Alright, time to place your bets. Is it gonna work or not? I'm gonna bet it's not gonna. We have the same error again this time, but will it work if we reboot? Okay. Well, I mean, CyanogenMod 10.1 seemed to flash fine, so why don't we just use that instead? And we're getting the same error we got for CyanogenMod 11, so you know what? Wait, can't we just flash the TWRP zip from this recovery? Okay, so install zip, install from sideload, and you'll never guess what happened. We got the same exact error again. Wait a second, inside this menu, I'm trying to mount the SD card and it just says error mounting SD card, so was that the issue the entire time? Okay, so we're back inside Clockwork Recovery 4.0, so inside here, we should be able to install the zip file from the SD card. But, really? Alright, kinda out of options here. I guess we'll just try the first thing we did again. Maybe it'll load now? It's not gonna load. Oh, cool. Android file host wants to work now. What really would have been nice to have that happen, like, I don't know, like 4 hours ago? Watch this not work. Oh, no way. Okay, so TWRP is actually installed now. Will it actually reboot into TWRP, though? Let's go. Finally, I get a win. Alright, so now we have to go back to the 4.4, not 4.4.2 steps. So, reboot into recovery, we did that. Flash the 4.4 kernel zip to gain TWRP. Is that the file we just downloaded? Okay, yeah, that's the file we just downloaded. Select wipe, go to advanced, wipe data. For how much trouble this thing has given me, I gotta admit, seeing old TWRP is pretty cool. Oh, whoops, almost didn't pay attention there. We're supposed to swipe to factory reset. Then we go to the advanced section and wipe both these caches. What? Failed. Unable to mount SD card system. Oh, no. Before we have another disaster, can I at least partition the SD card inside here? No? Okay. So I think I know what the problem is. If I reboot the phone right now and hold all 3 buttons, I'll still go back into Clockwork mod, which it means that TWRP is installed in like the OS partition and not a recovery partition itself, which it's actually probably why I can't access the SD card, so we gotta figure out how to fix that. After that point, I just got so tired I collapsed in my bed and fell asleep, and you might be thinking, hey, you actually got somewhere after that point, right? No. No. I found a PIT file online which allowed me to repartition this Samsung, and now when I install the zip files, it doesn't seem to like boot me into any menu anymore, like no more custom recoveries, it's just only the normal Clockwork recovery, so we got one issue fixed, but another one's popping up. I was doing some more research while laying in bed, and I found this guide on XDA on how to flash KitKat ROMs, and it's pretty much the same thing I've been doing, flashing this Clockwork recovery into recovery mode, but I don't know, maybe I'll do something different this time. Click on PDA function and find the gbbootloaders.tar that you downloaded in step 1. Okay, so that's a new file. gbbootloaders. Is this file down to? Yeah, of course it's a... Oh, but thankfully I found this one on Android file host, so will it download? Okay, thank you. Okay, so we plug the phone in with the battery out, then we hold volume up. Here we're just flashing the PIT file and not the recovery, and we're also going to do repartition. Alright, then we go right back into download mode to reset the connection, and now we flash that recovery. And now we flash the gbbootloaders.tar into that file. Alright, so we hit AP, gbbootloaders, start. Please don't crash, please don't crash. And inside the recovery we wipe all data and factory reset. And it also says to wipe the cache. And then it just says to install the ROM from zip, which I've tried it a bunch of times before, nothing's worked, but maybe this time it's not gonna work. Yeah, see? Let's just try CyanogenMod 7 because I just want something to boot at this point. Okay, it's gonna reboot. Now we wipe the cache one more time. Can't mount cache? Was it just a fluke? Are we gonna boot into CyanogenMod 7 or no? God, dude, this is just f***ing impossible! I think this is the hardest phone I've tried to install a custom ROM on. Nothing is working. I mean, even when I do get instructions, half the links are down, so I can't follow them completely. Oh, but hold up a second. This guy's page, Alan Eddy, there's another file host for this. Please download. Please download. Holy shit! Okay, this is the file we need. Alright, so we're gonna go back to that guide, follow all the steps again, and maybe something will be different this time. I keep saying that. It's not gonna work. Okay, so we got our stock recovery, we got the PIT file. Let's flash that. Okay, yeah, it's flashing a bunch of stuff now. I think this was like a crucial step that we missed. Okay, yeah, it's wiping a bunch of stuff inside of here. It's now going back into Android recovery. Yeah, and we're back on the stock firmware. Okay, so at least we were able to restore it. Now we power off the phone and pull the battery. Alright, now we go back into download mode, do the same steps we did last time. Wipe the data, wipe the cache, which I'm hoping it can actually mount this time. There we go. Now we go to install zip from SD card. CyanogenMod 11. Damn, same error. CyanogenMod 10 at least? Oh, we did it! Okay, that's new, that's new. That takes us into recovery, and now we wipe the cache partition and reboot system. Fingers crossed. Didn't go into recovery. Fuck. Alright, you know, it's getting on 2 days of filming this thing. I'll just settle for CyanogenMod 7. Just have something work, please. And I started getting those weird errors inside of recovery again, so I'm just gonna redo all the steps over for the 3rd time. Waiting for SD card to mount. Okay, so we're getting a new error. Alright, it's gonna reboot again and put me right back into recovery, right? Alright, yeah, we're now in a boot loop. Okay, so I've been trying for hours just to get anything to work on this, and nothing's working, as evident by like the, I don't know how long it's gonna be. I might cut out a ton of footage, but implicit 4 hours of struggling. But thankfully, I found this one ROM on XDA where everything is included in one nice little tar file, and it's on MediaFire, which means the host isn't down. We don't have to deal with, oops, sorry, no mirrors available. It will work, okay? I promise you it'll work. Okay, so we load up Odin, we go into AP, we select the file, we select the PIT file, put the thing to download mode for the 8th time, and it's gonna work. Okay, now it's wiping the device in this sub-menu. Oh, wait, Nexus? Oh, so it's like a Google Nexus mod. That's pretty cool. It's not gonna boot me into like some sort of stupid recovery or, oops, sorry, can't mount SD card again, right? This is the actual custom ROM. And after letting it cook for a while, thankfully we are booted into Android 4. We finally have a custom ROM installed, and all I had to do was just scroll down a bit further in XDA. I hate Samsung download mode. Okay, so my first impressions of this is that it's actually a stock Android 4 ROM, which I kind of hope so, but I guess we'll find out as we go through it. Yeah, it looks like the stock Android 4 keyboard. Oh, you know what? We got haptics here as well. Perfect. That was one of the things I really liked about the stock firmware, actually, the fact that every button you hit had a vibration to it. I actually kind of wish there was a thing on modern Android today, but oh well. It seems like we got the G-apps pre-installed on this ROM, which that's actually pretty cool. This phone belongs to... Is this feature even around in Android today? Okay, our phone is set up and ready to use, so what Android version is this? Judging by the wallpaper, I think this is actually 4.0 Ice Cream Sandwich. I've used Android 4.4, 4.3, even 4.1, but I've never used 4.0 before, so I really hope that's what it is. Oh, 4.2.2, okay. Even though it's not plain Android 4, getting 4.2.2 is a massive upgrade from 2.3. We've got a notification to update Google Play services from December 31st, 2004. Alright, you know, I have a feeling that's not gonna work. I'm sorry to keep gushing over it, but the Android 4.0 holo design theme I'm just in love with, because blue is my favorite color, and just having it on these AMOLED blacks, I really wish there was an option to bring this back today. And even though we jumped like 3 system versions, you know, if you count Honeycomb, which I actually kind of don't, the system is actually still pretty snappy. But we did this entire thing for better app support, so how is this going to handle some of the most modern Android 4.2 APKs? I know the bare minimum to get like social media apps and stuff working is Android 4.4, so let's see if we can get a web browser working made for Android 4.1. Oh, and I almost forgot to showcase the cool Android 4.0 lock screen where you can actually slide from the side for widgets or the camera. It sounds familiar, right? And the camera for this ROM actually does still work, provided you have an SD card inserted, which I found out kind of like a stupid limitation, especially considering this thing has 1.5 gigs of internal storage, but it works, okay? I'll stop complaining. Now we just headed to the terminal. Wait, am I even recording? My watch is useless, dude. It's just showing me the picture mode. I should probably just get a new one. I mean, it's like on watchOS 11, but I'm getting sidetracked. Let's just install the Chrome APK. It is really kind of strange seeing the Chrome icon and how flat it is compared to all the rest. Anyways, let's open it up. Now, if you grew up with unrestricted internet access, what website would you miss most on a phone? That's right, YouTube. Will it work? We were locked out. It just said, oh, please update to Android 4.0 or newer, so maybe we can load a video this time. And 26 seconds to load the homepage. It's not looking good for how long it's going to take to load a video. Initially, I said the phone was pretty speedy, but now that I'm using somewhat of an intensive app, it seems to slow down a bit. To be fair, this specific Chrome client came out in like 2018, so maybe I'm being too harsh. Alright, let's see. 50 seconds to load the video. Don't you just love it when the skip ad button starts to buffer? After that, the video is now playing at, what is that, 144p 20? Yeah, just like I thought, the video's playing at 144p, so at the bare minimum, the phone can play YouTube. Just launching that one site, though, seems to have slowed the phone down to a crawl. We can force quit it from here, right? There we go. Now, aside from app compatibility, there are some pretty cool features you get by installing a custom ROM. Like this advanced tab right here, there's just a bunch of stuff to play with in here, including overclocking or underclocking the CPU. You can set the timeout for the keys at the bottom of the screen, which, is there a way to just leave it on forever? Okay, 30 seconds, that's good enough. Notification panel header, what does that do? It like gives you like, oh, okay, so it's set to the system clock right now, but if I change it to brightness, yeah, I can change the brightness on the fly too. Pretty cool. We've also got a setting to change the vibration intensity, and yeah, you know what, that wasn't already a setting in Android 4? And along with the advanced, we also have a super user section, which means if we install any app that needs root, we can just give it to it using this. So that's installing a custom ROM on the Samsung Galaxy S, or the Samsung Galaxy Fascinate, either or. Thankfully, it all worked out and I was able to install Android 4 on this thing, but what a complete struggle session it was, man. It seemed like everything was out to get me. You go on XDA, finally, this is the fit. Okay, and the file host is down. My main complaint about this is why weren't there more .tar files on XDA? I mean, I'm kind of 17 years late to complain about this, but everything that I flashed that worked was a .tar file. Everything that was a .zip, it immediately gave me issues. So the moral of the story is Samsung sucks and I hate download mode. Anyways, thanks for watching it. Let me know down in the comments, what other phones, tablets, or I guess watches you want me to custom ROM next? Alright, I'll see you later.